Hello.
A giant nutsack!
Yay! And then we blew out the audio.
Oh, well. Alright.
That took 5 full minutes.
I don't even know.
It's okay, Anastasia.
Okay.
It's all okay.
Alright. Hey, guys.
This is quite a week.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
The best part is, like, we don't even drink or do anything before we get on this podcast. Like, I'm always coming from work, so I don't even have time to smoke weed. Like,
No, I'm not drinking. I'm drinking probiotics from my belly.
Yep, probiotic ginger ale.
I'm just drunk.
I
on
looked
this
at and
app.
said no. Drunk on the adrenaline of not live audio recording.
Oh, Jesus. Alright. Hi, guys.
Hello. Hello, and welcome to Serial Killer. I'm Maria.
I'm Anastasia.
Each week we talk about different horrible crimes and criminals and pair them with breakfast cereal.
Yay! And we're doing another holiday episode.
Yes! Yeah, we're in the middle of our holiday episodes, which I am a big fan of. I'm having fun with them.
I am having fun with them too. I think in the new year, whenever there's like a holiday season, we should theme.
Arbor
I
Day.
like theme.
A
I don't know what
a
that
nice
is. That a tree?
springtime.
Is that a tree?
We can combine it with Earth Day, Arbor Day.
We're just gonna eat
Just
trees.
a bunch of murders in the woods, which is like 90% of murders.
Oh my god, though, this is brilliant. We might have
But
to
we
go
have
back
to actually do this.
We might actually have to do this.
Ooh, for the 4th of July, we can do political murders.
Oh shit,
Ooh,
man!
I'm very
I'm
excited.
scared though, but I'm also in. But the fear. But also, yes.
Yeah, we can talk about Squeaky Fromm again and how she tried to assassinate Gerald Ford, I want to say.
It all goes back to her.
It just always.
It always goes back to her.
I mean, clearly that woman needs some guidance in her life that is not a man, because none of the men have worked out.
You know, men don't work out. Just kidding. They do. You have a great one.
Sometimes
I have
they work
one.
out. Somewhere.
Where is he?
Somewhere.
Where are you? I don't know where he is. If you found him,
I've
please
lost him.
return him.
But yeah, so this is another holiday
episode.
We are doing holiday party murders.
Yes. It's like party till you
Die.
It's my party and I'll die if I want to. It's my holiday party
It's my
and I'll
holiday
die
party
and I'll die if I want to. But you don't want to. But you know what I'm saying.
No.
I feel like cereals were difficult for this one.
Yeah.
But also not because we're doing holiday and there's so many
still
holiday
so many
ones. So holiday cereals are easy to find. Pairing them with murder.
Yeah. Not as easy.
Can we justify this somehow?
So let's see. We've got the Christmas Crunch. Captain Crunch's Christmas Crunch. This is too many C's in one cereal.
Christmas crunch, crunch.
And it has little trees and hats and stars as shapes. And of course, the amazing Captain Crunch bits that shred your mouth to fucking nothing.
Well, that's
You were just eating dry Captain Crunch.
No, but we're about to.
We're gonna. Oh, and this is another fun box because there's a maze on the back.
Wait, the justification for this is, you know, you can drink Captain Morgan
Captain.
at a holiday party.
And also.
Captain
And also,
Festive.
when you murder people, bones go crunch? I don't know.
Listen, we're reaching.
This is a real stretch. It's Christmas themed. These are Christmas themed murder.
And it looks like they're having a nice holiday party in the back.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's
there's
good.
there's a nice. Who are all of these people?
I mean, it's a
Since
strange
when
family.
since when is there an extended Captain Crunch universe?
Is that okay? So they have a dog.
They have a dog.
What
Yes.
is that thing?
Is it a dinosaur?
If you know what
What this animal?
this animal is, which you can see on the YouTube version,
Please help.
please help. All right, I guess we're gonna try this.
Let's try this. All right, let's see. Smells good. Smells berry and good.
All right. I think I want to get.
Smells-
I want to make sure to get.
Get some of the
Oh, I
shapes.
didn't get green. Oh shit!
No, and I dropped it. Oh, I only got green.
And my dog won't eat it off the floor because she's a douche.
Some of these shapes are better than others. I think there's there's trees and snowmen, which I love because none of these are white.
Wait, the green. Oh, they all come in.
They all come in all the colors, so you can get a
'cause
red
I got
tree, I
a
guess.
snowman
I have a star and a hat and a snowman
and a tree and a star. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna prove away from this. Yeah, I'm a fan of that. I would eat
That's
that.
good.
It's good.
People are a big fan of Captain Crunch. I wasn't really exposed to it.
I love Captain Crunch, especially ones like this that have berry flavors.
Is there a big berry flavor? Also, can I read some of the back?
Yeah.
Ruckus around the Christmas tree. Ruckus. How many of Z-E-E crunch pieces can you find?
Oh yeah, this is definitely supposed to be a French evil villain because he has the twirly mustache and says Z.
Z. Alright.
I'm gonna guess.
So I'm gonna pour. Why
Yeah.
am I pouring? This is stupid. This is the most horrible thing that's ever happened.
But it's limited edition, just like these murders. No, that doesn't.
Oh,
make
oh
any sense.
no. Oh no, I'm gonna eat so much.
You're gonna have to
Oh
eat
god,
so
yes,
much
so are you.
cereal. Oh, well.
Oh god.
You just have to eat a bunch of Captain Crunch.
And here's milk.
Oh, thank you.
I don't pour people's milk because, you know, that's very personal. I wouldn't even trust somebody I'm having sex with to pour my milk. Especially not somebody I would have sex with.
The other day,
It's
I was
my taste.
eating cereal, and I went to like get all of the things to, you know, make cereal. Which I hate saying make cereal because you're just pouring things in a bowl. Like,
What?
It's not even like making pancakes where it's like, oh, I poured this water in this mix, but then you have to like do something else. But anyway, and I took everything out, and then I was like, okay, gonna pour the milk. What the fuck am I doing? I haven't poured my cereal yet. And I was just like, am I a sociopath? Maybe I'm a serial killer.
Well, you do it at least once a week.
I know, and I somehow had forgotten how to make cereal and was like, I'll just pour the milk in first, which I hear some people actually do. And it's insane. But they're like, but then I know how much cereal to pour. And I'm like, no, you never know the right proportion of anything to pour. And you just pour and hope that you're correct.
This is delicious. If you pour your milk in first, tweet at us. At us.
Yeah, why? Just why?
Just let us know your
I don't know.
philosophy.
Is this berry flavored or did I make that up?
I don't taste any berries, but I just taste that like Crafton? What's a Crafton? Eric Crafton.
That like super sweet Captain Crunch.
That like Captain Crunch flavor, which I'm not really sure what that is.
See,
What
I
is the
always
flavoring?
thought, because the box says it's a corn cereal.
What's
Sweetened corn and oat
Yeah,
cereal.
but sweet with what that makes it taste like Captain Crunch? Because Captain Crunch has a very distinct, like, this is Captain Crunch taste.
It has all of the same shit in it as every other cereal. Like, there's nothing on this label that we haven't seen before.
If you know what the flavor
What?
of Captain Crunch is,
Tell us.
let us know.
Please.
Ask us.
I have no clue, and I always thought, because I thought there's like
Yeah.
Berry Berry Captain Crunch or whatever, Crunch Berries,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have regular Captain Crunch, and those two things always tasted different, but then I ate this and was like, it might be berry flavored, and so my brain could just be like, I have no idea.
Captain Crunch, you're very complicated. But I'm gonna go knife up dry, knife up wet.
Knife up for this cereal.
The box, I'm confused. Clearly, I would be laughing for 2 hours if I was high right now. But
Yeah, and I always love the peanut butter Captain Crunch, which I know you cannot partake in.
we should just do a peanut butter episode and have the EpiPen ready. Like, it would be amazing. I'll die for this podcast. I don't care. That's how much I love you guys.
Have the EpiPen and do it like 3 blocks from the hospital.
You're like, and today, we're doing peanut cereal, and instead of milk, we're doing pineapple juice.
And we're doing it in the ER, so that when Anastasia's throat closes, we're right there.
With slices of kiwi floating all up in there. And little, like, bacon bits.
Just ham shredded all over it.
Why is there ham in your cereal?
Shut up! It's not like my cereal.
So the theme of today is somber. It's sad.
It is. Well, it's so one. Most of these take place like in December.
Right.
Aren't necessarily like
It's a holiday party.
holiday generally. And some of them aren't necessarily parties, but are like
family gatherings.
yeah, exactly, like get-togethers, holiday get-togethers for Christmas or Hanukkah or whatever.
Right. Kwanzaa. Just kidding. No
I was
one
gonna
celebrates
say-
Kwanzaa.
One, I've never actually met a person who celebrates Kwanzaa.
I went to a couple Kwanzaa parties. I'm not gonna lie.
But two, I just feel like the vibe there, like the stress level about Kwanzaa is not on par. Oh no, I'm wrong.
Listen, Kwanzaa, you have to make your own gift. You can't
But
give
that's like-
somebody a gift. You have to make the gift that you're giving.
I do that. I sound awful. I do that every year.
Oh.
That's what I do. Last year I just hand embroidered stuff because I'm poor and have a lot of time. And it was hilarious because I gave my boyfriend's brothers, and like they both have significant others, so it was like a joint couple sort of gift, these lovely embroidered things. And the minute his younger brother opened it and looked at it and was like, "You made this? Damn, my gift is not this good."
Oh, that's sweet though.
And I was like, "Matt, that's hilarious. Thank you for the travel organizers. I appreciate that. I still use that."
That is a good gift.
It was really helpful. They are very helpful. They're the like mesh ones, so you can
Yeah.
put all your underwear in one.
And by
I
the
put, like,
way, I
craft
never
supplies
thought
in
I
one.
needed one
Oh,
until I
they're
did it.
Fucking
And I'm like,
great.
what
They
the
are
fuck was I
life-changing.
doing with my life?
Yeah.
Holiday parties.
But anyway, holiday party. So we're gonna start with one that happened about 11 years ago. I was gonna say 10, and then for some reason I said 12, and it's in the middle of those
11.
numbers.
It was 11 years ago.
There was a Christmas Eve party being held in Covina, which is in Los Angeles. Is this in Los Angeles County, or is it in the next county?
I'm not sure if it's Orange County. I feel like it might be Orange
It might
County.
be Orange County.
Yeah.
But it's in the I'm just so bad at words today.
San blah, blah,
Blah,
blah,
blah,
blah.
blah. It's in the Los Angeles, Southern California area.
Oh, it is.
Oh, is it LA County?
It's LA County and San Gabriel Valley.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, because there's Covina and there's West Covina.
West Covina.
Exactly. Only 4 hours from the beach.
California. If you don't know what that's from, watch Crazy Ex-Girlfriend.
Yes. So there was a man named Jeffrey Pardo who dressed in a Santa Claus suit and went to knock on the door of his. Also, I'm reading all of this off Wikipedia. Thank you, Wikipedia.
Thank you, Wikipedia.
I should donate $2 to you. I'll do that later. It's in their pledge drive now, and so the top of this page is just like masses of black text asking me to donate money to Wikipedia.
Please.
And it's like, we're a non-profit, please! Which is fair, because again, I get most of my information in life off Wikipedia.
Me too. I just ask it what I'm going to do with my day. It doesn't answer, but I ask it.
It's good. It's good to ask. So, Jeffrey Pardo dressed up in a Santa Claus suit and knocked on the door of his former in-laws' house on Christmas Eve. Also at like 11:30 p.m. on Christmas Eve.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a party going on. I'm sure the party was still in full swing. 'Cause it was like
Because there were like
Christmas
a lot of
Eve.
people there.
I mean, he killed 10 people alone. I imagine there were like at least 50 people at this party. And so, well, spoiler alert, he's the guy who kills people.
Spoiler alert!
But, so he shows up with a wrapped package that contains a homemade flamethrower and 2 9mm semi-automatic handguns. And then he had 2 more handguns on him, but not in the, like, wrapped package.
He's going to wipe that whole family out.
Which, like, that's, seriously, that's, like, Columbine level shit, where they're like, and then we had these bombs, and then we had all these guns.
And it was
it's like,
basically
what?
like a custody dispute, right?
Yeah, they had gotten into some sort of dispute. They were already separated. I don't know if they were divorced. But yeah, so he shows up at the party. He starts just firing, just into the party.
So sad.
Yeah, he kills an 8-year-old girl.
Yeah. Wasn't she like napping or something?
No, there's an 8-year-old girl who like he comes in and she's like,
oh, that's right.
and she
She's
like comes
opening
to
the door
greet
like
him,
Santa.
like oh my god,
That's
and
right.
then gets shot in the face.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so he goes on to like shoot a bunch more people. He uses his fucking flamethrower, which sprays racing fuel gasoline. And I don't know anything about flamethrowers,
Me
but I
either.
imagine there's a specific type of like ignition fluid that you want.
Can I ask a stupid question?
Yes.
And maybe you won't be able to answer this. But can you just go to a store and buy a flamethrower?
So I also, because this one specifically said it was homemade. So
he
he made this flamethrower, but also Tesla sells a not flamethrower.
What does that mean?
It's actually called a not flamethrower because to get a flamethrower, like that's like high powered, like legally, to call it a flamethrower, it has to like meet certain requirements and can only be sold in certain, like to certain people in certain industries, so that normal people can't just buy flamethrowers.
So there's
There's
actual
a not.
restrictions.
They're on actual real flamethrowers, but then you can buy like stuff to flamethrow weeds on your front garden that just like attaches, a gas grill propane tank to a mechanism, and then you can just like shh and like burn down weeds.
It's for your yard.
Yeah, it creates a flame that's like 2 inches, 3 inches big. It's like not huge. It can't actually throw any flames, but it like is better than going out there with a fucking propane torch and trying to do it.
I've never tried to burn my yard, so this is
No,
all
it's
unique
not
to
like
me.
your yard, but like in the sidewalks, in the cracks in the sidewalks, in places that actually get rain more than once a year, weeds will grow.
Uh-huh.
And
you just
so
pull them.
no, some of those weeds root deep, and you can't just pull them, so you gotta
So you
flame
burn
throw
them.
them. Yeah, and that really kills them, so that you
But
don't
this
have
guy
palm
made
trees
his own.
blowing in the middle of your sidewalk, unlike Los Angeles, who decided palm trees growing in our sidewalks was fun.
I fucking hate palm
It's
trees.
so stupid, and they're the worst plant, and they don't actually belong here. They're tropical.
I fucking hate them.
I hate them so much. But anyway, this guy made his own flamethrower that, from the sounds of it, just sprayed like on fire racing fuel.
Oh my god, these poor people.
Yeah. So 9 people die either from gunfire or from the flames. 3 were wounded. The 8-year-old girl,
Yeah.
so she didn't die, thankfully. And then a 16-year-old girl and a 20-year-old woman. And the 20-year-old woman actually was only injured because she jumped out of the 2nd floor window, probably to save her life, because everything was on fire.
Oh my god.
And this is all happening, like, probably it's Christmas by now, because he showed up at 11:30.
Yikes.
So it's like fucking Christmas morning. One survivor called the authorities during the attack after escaping to a neighbor's house. The fire rose to like 50 feet, and it took 80 firefighters an hour and a half to finally get it
Can you
out.
imagine how chaotic that whole
That
thing
would have
is?
been imagine not even being in that party, but being in the neighborhood where that happened.
I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy to be in neighborhoods when stuff like that is happening.
Yeah, when there's like a fire like that,
Yeah.
ew, it's bananas.
Or just even like shots fired,
Mhm.
you know? Like, I live in North Hollywood, so there's been quite a few
Yeah.
situations like that.
So after the attack, he put on his street clothes. He drove his rental car to his brother's house in Sylmar, which
I
is
like
a
to call
drive.
Slimer because I'm dyslexic. Continue.
That is a drive. That's 30 miles. Like that is a
Well,
time.
Isn't that trying to give yourself like a
Some sort of alibi.
alibi? I'm like,
Maybe.
I wasn't.
No, because then he's found dead.
Oh, he kills him?
Yeah, he shoots himself.
Again, do that
Yeah, he
first.
goes to his brother's house where his
To
brother
kill himself.
wasn't home and kills himself.
If you are planning to do some kind of mass murder,
Everyone does these in the wrong
right,
order.
and you're planning to kill yourself at the end of the mass murder, just do it before. Just do it before you do the mass murder. That'd be great. Thank you.
Yeah, so
I'm not encouraging people to kill themselves unless they're mass murderers.
they're not sure if he decided to kill himself after, because he was found with like 17 grand saran wrapped to his legs, like 17 grand in cash. He also had like severe 3rd-degree burns, so it could have been that he was like, oh, I'll go and shoot up this house and then flee. But then shit went awry, and he was like, well, fuck it, I'll just kill myself.
I hate
because I can't like go to the hospital and get treated for this because they'll know that I was the guy who shot up and lit aflame that house.
Yeah, you can't go to the hospital when you get shot.
No.
I saw Queen and Slim.
I know things.
I know things.
Yep, so that's the Covina holiday murder, which is so nice.
It's so nice.
The next one I have is pretty brief, but it happened in early 1900s in Brooklyn. There was...
We're going back.
Yes.
Way back.
So John Bell and his wife Margaret were married for like 15 years.
Okay. So they were probably like 30. Continue.
When they found out that Margaret was pregnant. And John didn't believe that it was his baby, even though there was like absolutely no evidence to the contrary. So he gets really upset in the weeks leading up to the holidays, and on Christmas Day he confronts her with a gun, but then intending to kill her and then kill himself. And then in the ensuing struggle, he fires a shot that struck Margaret in the left eye, and she died.
Mm-hmm.
And so then he just felt so guilty, he immediately left his house and confessed to the police.
Oh, I thought it was going to commit suicide.
No, he put himself in jail, essentially.
All right.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Your husband doesn't believe that you're faithful. Oh my gosh.
Yay. This is another one.
This is why I'm reading this book called The Power, where women all grow these things called skeins in our chest that allow us to like have electricity pulse out of us. This is why we need that.
Wow.
It's amazing. It's an amazing book. Also complicated. Amazing. Hi, Fiona.
Hi.
Our mascot's here.
Okay. And then the next one happened in Texas back in 2011, I believe.
Okay.
It was another like Christmas Day family gathering type thing. Let's see. 7 people were found shot dead on Christmas Day in an apparent murder-suicide in Grapevine, Texas, I think is the name of the place. Grapevine?
Okay.
Yeah. The suspected shooter was one of the people dead inside and was wearing a Santa costume.
What's up with the Santa costume?
He didn't live in the apartment, but he was visiting. They had just celebrated Christmas. They opened their gifts. Like at the scene, the police were like, yep, their gifts were open, and they were all fucking dead.
Is he related to the family? Who is this dude?
Let's see.
Because they said he didn't live there.
Yeah. He didn't live there, but he was visiting. The victims were Yazdanpaneh family. I don't think I'm saying that right.
Sure, we'll say Yazdanpaneh.
Yeah, the parents, it was a mom and the kids. The dad is the one who came in and shot everybody. They had separated earlier in the year, and it wasn't like a good separation.
Ooh. Well, yeah, that's apparent.
Yeah. Yeah, they moved in. The mom moved into this apartment building because it was cheaper and whatever. There were 2 kids, a son and a daughter.
Why can't people just like? I get it if your marriage doesn't work out and stuff like don't
move far away. There's so many better options.
Yeah, I mean, like wiping out your whole family. These annihilators.
What if you just pretended they were dead?
Right? There's plenty of people that
Still
do that.
Use our imagination.
That just completely start over again.
Exactly.
And whatever. But, annihilate. I mean, we'll probably have to do a whole episode about family annihilators.
Oh, yeah. That's a whole...
It's a whole insane, subgenre of murder.
Yeah, it's insane.
That, I don't know. there's some bad ones too. Really bad.
But yeah, it's the police in Grapevine, Texas, which is, I guess, in the Dallas area. But
I
that
don't
also
know.
means nothing because Texas is the size of like 7 other states combined.
It's crazy.
Like, I think all of Europe is smaller than Texas.
Most likely.
But the
And yet
people.
Europe does it better. I'm just kidding. I'm just
They
kidding.
definitely do travel better.
I'm just kidding. I've been to Texas. There's some places I like there. I don't know how much some of the places like me
Yeah.
being biracial, but that's okay.
The police sergeant said he's been with or at this time had been with the police department for 12 years, and this is one of the most tragic things he's ever been involved in. It was also the first homicide of the year, and they happened on Christmas, so this is a
Wow.
very, very safe community. Yeah.
Well, good on you, Texas. Not good for the murder.
No.
Good on you that you're that safe that was. Wow.
Yeah.
They almost went a year.
A whole year.
A year
without any
gun
homicides.
violence.
Yeah.
Holy moly. We need to take notes, except for when they. Well, that sucked.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Also,
there's-
we don't know how big the town is, so.
No. Okay, I have one more,
Okay.
and it is
Oh,
Yes.
I just saw his face. I know this one.
so this is another family get together.
Yeah, and another family annihilator.
Yes. And it was
I think 80.
what year was it?
87. 80.
Yeah.
Like 80 something. 1980.
This is weird because Wikipedia says. Let me see. No, okay. Oh no, okay. They have the time he died, right? Yeah, 87.
87. Okay.
Yeah, it was under a week, 6 days in 1987 that all of these murders took place.
I was 4 years old when this murder happened.
I was non-existent.
We don't need to say that.
So this guy, William Simmons, who I just keep wanting to call Gene Simmons because
He's
that's
not Gene
the
Simmons.
only Simmons in my brain. Oh,
There's
he's
also
not
Russell
Gene
Simmons.
Simmons. That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, I miss him.
Do you?
Oh no, I'm thinking of a different Simmons.
I was like, Russell
Richard
Simmons is
Simmons.
still alive.
Russell Simmons is still alive and he's just okay.
He's just
Richard Simmons may or may not be alive, and we don't know if he's okay.
That's true.
And that's who I miss.
Yeah, that's true.
I just worry for him, really.
Mm.
But anyway, it's Roland Gene Simmons.
So it is Gene Simmons.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah, but
but
it's
ladies
Ro-
don't do that.
Ronald, not Roland.
Oh, Roland.
Apparently I'm dyslexic. I'm rubbing off on you. I know.
Who knew dyslexia was contagious?
It's airborne. Didn't you know?
I didn't. I have been in contact with a lot of people. Oh shit. I'm so sorry.
So Ronald
Simmons, not any of the other things
no.
that she said.
is born into what appears to be a normal family. His
Not.
dad is in the military, so they move around when he's a kid, but he ends up going into the military as well. And so he joins the Navy, and then he meets a girl and marries her, and then he joins the Air Force, and then goes off to Vietnam and other foreign wars and wins a bunch of fucking ribbons for shooting people real good. But no, he wins a ribbon for excellent marksmanship. Literally for shooting people real good.
That's legit. Shooting people for our country, though.
Yes, of course. So, but he, it's not all great, obviously. We wouldn't be talking about him if it was.
No.
But so in 1981, he's under investigation by, the Department of Human Services in Cloudcroft, New Mexico.
Hudcroft.
Which
It's like a Lovecraftian.
actually still doesn't sound real. For fathering a child with his 17-year-old daughter.
Yeah, they have a...
So,
And she's got a little Stockholm-y.
yeah.
There's a little stuff coming
There's
with
a lot of abuse happening.
Yeah.
A lot of people who don't recognize these things as abuse, and they're like, but it's fine. And it's not fine.
Yeah, I mean, I think the family tried to stop it at a certain point.
Once they got wind of how bad it was.
Right. And then I think she kind of was like, at first, like, oh no.
No, it's fine. I
him.
don't mind.
But then I think she realized also
how bad it was.
Later on, no, I'm not fine with being in love with my father.
No. And like their life goes pretty downhill after he starts getting investigated because he's afraid he's gonna be arrested, which like rightfully so.
And he should.
Yeah, so they move the family to Arkansas. They move around Arkansas for a minute and then finally end up living on a 13-acre tract of land north of the city that is, and they have basically just jammed 2 mobile homes together into like a makeshift home that has no indoor plumbing and no telephone.
That's not the way I want to live.
That's not the way anyone should live.
I don't want to live in a trailer park in general, but not that there's anything wrong with it, but also like I don't want to live in a trailer park with my
abusive father. I don't want to live in a trailer park with my abusive father that also has no indoor plumbing. Even prisoners get indoor plumbing.
Indoor plumbing, and like you need space. Like there's a lot of people
and
in
it's
there.
like it had all 13 acres.
Well, yeah, but you're not living in
we
the
talked
13th.
about with the vendors. Got all this land.
What's the purpose of land if you're gonna be like squashed together?
I honestly don't know. If you're not gonna raise something or like farm something, I don't understand having a bunch of land.
Because if
just
my
you
father
want to be
was
far
like,
away from somebody, you can do that.
I need
so
my
many
own
ways.
trailer. I need my own trailer. I'd be like, you're not squishing my trailer anywhere.
So then Christmas 1987 rolls around, and Simmons decides to murder his family. Just like sort of wakes up one morning, as far as everyone can tell, and is like, "This is a good idea."
It's not a good idea.
It's
just
terrible
FYI.
idea.
If you ever wake up like that, feeling that way, it's not a good idea.
Well, and then this to me is like the worst part. So on the morning of December 22nd, he kills his wife and his oldest son by shooting them with a pistol. Then he kills his 3-year-old granddaughter /
Daughter?
But it's not his. Oh yeah, it would be his daughter. Yeah, yes, granddaughter / daughter.
Granddaughter/daughter.
And he strangles her, and then he dumps the bodies in a pit that he had forced his children to build like the week before.
That's like some. Oh, well, he's military.
Dig your own grave, yeah. It's like a legit thing.
That's what they used to do.
Fucking creepy.
He probably Vietnam. They messed with.
Oh.
They messed with soldiers so bad.
Man, I can't even imagine.
He has
no, but
excuse.
his psychological, like anyone who went to Vietnam should immediately have come back and gone into PTSD therapy treatments.
Yeah,
like there's no way you went in there and didn't come back kind of fucked up.
Yeah, and I don't know how he was before. But
yeah. There's not a ton of information on his like early life.
Right, and some of the stuff that you hear even about like Vietnam and certain wars, the cruelty level that they saw, experienced, and ended up doing.
Yes,
is high.
Yeah.
Like, it's like torture level.
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah. That's
bad.
On 30 Rock, there's a recurring joke when Cabletown buys NBC, and the head of Cabletown just keeps telling these like Vietnam stories where he's like, and didn't you know we turned the skull into a teapot? And it's like, this is a funny joke, but this is not.
Yeah.
This is scary.
I always felt like MASH was like that too. Like when people were like, oh, MASH is such a good show.
And it's like,
MASH
is hard to watch.
Just hearing the music.
That show is, because that was, Doogie Howser is like a similar thing to me.
Oh, really?
Doogie Howser's opening episode is a 6-year-old black kid who can't get a heart transplant and dies.
Yeah.
Like, it just hits you from the beginning, and that's how MASH feels.
Yeah.
It's fun, but it's never, like, a funny show.
I never really thought it was funny. I just thought, and I think it's because, I was raised in a household where my mom is a big activist. and she used to fight against the Vietnam
Yeah.
War, like, you know, but she also at the same time knew that it wasn't the people that were serving fault, so she volunteered at the burn ward at the same time as protesting it. So like, I always have these like mixed up feelings. It's like the same way. It's the same way with cops. Like, I feel like yes, there's so much bad out there, but there's also so much good.
Yeah.
And I just like, I appreciate the good people out there that are doing this. And this, I don't know. Like, obviously he's a asshole. Like,
he's a fucking asshole. He woke up and was like, I'll just murder my whole family.
And he's also like, you know, like been abusing and stuff like that. But I just like, I wonder
if he hadn't gone, or if he'd gotten help, what would have happened? Would things have been different, or would he have just murdered his family in 1995 instead of 87?
But you know, I'm sappy and I'm like, how can we fix this?
Let's find the best in humanity.
Can we fix him somehow? No, it already happened, Anastasia.
It's done.
It's done.
He's dead. I'm
but if
sorry.
I had a time machine and I could fix him with therapy and meditation.
That would be an amazing television show if like it's just like two girls who have a fucking true crime podcast and happen upon a time machine and they're like, but what if I went back in time and just really connected with Jeffrey Dahmer? Like, what if
I got him the help that he needed?
What if I got all of these people, like the Vampire of Sacramento, he just needed the proper psychological care.
Did we just start a web series?
This is a new web series.
You can't
Don't take it. We're writing it.
Oh my god.
But anyway, unfortunately, back to the murder.
Yeah.
So, he, for some reason, decided that he was going to drown and strangle his children. Like the rest of his children. So he has murdered his wife, his eldest son, his granddaughter/daughter. And now he's waiting for the other children to get home, and once they get home, he says he has a present for them, but he wants to give them each their present one-on-one.
And you know, that's the worst part. Okay? They were like happy.
Excited!
Like, my dick of
I got a
dad
present!
is finally being nice to me, and instead he fucking kills me.
He's gonna murder me in this literal rain barrel.
What the fuck, dude?
So yeah, the three other children, Eddie, Marianne, and Becky, were all killed the same way. And his 17-year-old daughter, Loretta. Yeah, strangled by holding them underwater in a rain barrel. Which also is an awful way to kill somebody. Takes a very long time.
Drowning sucks.
Ugh. So then, he, I guess, dumps them all in the pit that they dug themselves. Hides it, sort of. And then on December 26th, the rest of the family arrives for their, like, scheduled Christmas visit. And so then he goes on to kill his son's wife, and then he strangled their 20-month-old, shot and killed his oldest daughter, who's the one he sexually abused, and her husband, and then strangled his kid by that daughter,
His grandbaby.
who was the granddaughter/daughter, not the other one. Well, we don't know.
Daughter.
Can't actually confirm if all of the granddaughters were daughters, but we'll just say they are. Yeah, and so then he laid the bodies of all of the family members in a neat row in the lounge. Everyone was wearing were covered with coats, except for Sheila, who was covered by a tablecloth that I think one of them had brought, I guess.
Weird.
And the bodies of the two grandsons were wrapped in plastic sheeting and left in abandoned cars at the end of the lane. Then he finished doing all this and then went for a drink at the local bar and returned to the house and spent the rest of the evening and the following day drinking beer and watching TV while all of these bodies were in his living room. Also, they had TV, but they didn't have a phone.
Or a bathroom.
Indoor plumbing.
I mean, honestly, though, if it was, like, between having cable or having a bathroom, I would probably have
indoor plumbing. Indoor plumbing. You ever play that game where you're like, if I could go back to any time in history, any time and place in history, where would it be? And I had friends who were like, Middle Ages, Venice and the Renaissance. And I was like, when did indoor plumbing get invented? That's the furthest I will go back.
I won't go back at all because I'm a biracial woman. I'm
that's
fine right here.
That's very fair.
I don't want to go back. That's why I don't understand that TV show Westworld. Why the fuck would I want to go back
west.
Because now you can go back west and shoot anyone you want.
I know, but I've been watching Oppression.
I
different.
also gave up on Westworld after season 1, so...
I gave up after the first episode where I saw a black family bring their kids to the west. I
Yeah.
was like, nope. My
Yeah,
dad-
they can shoot prostitutes.
Oh God, no.
Or not shoot prostitutes. All depends on what hat you
Like,
pick.
look at these minorities working
All
in the fields.
depends on what
no.
hat you pick. No, I don't think they have that. They have...
Didn't they have Chinese working on the railroads in the west?
Yes, but that was because it was west. We don't have southern world. That's where all the plantation workers would be. You're not wrong. It's just the wrong world.
I don't want to watch any of it. I don't want to. I don't want to do it. I want to be like,
Yeah, it's all
hey,
bad.
hey, my daughter, my lovely daughter. These are the only occupations you could have back then. You could be a school teacher
Oh.
or a prostitute. Or you
Girl.
could be somebody's wife.
I just listened to a 6-episode podcast series about the Song of the South.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, white people had a lot of opinions on jobs that black people should have.
Have you ever watched it?
I've never seen it because it stopped. It went into the vault before I was born.
I saw it as a kid.
Because it re-entered theaters 3 times
Yeah.
in the 80s.
And I have a I have two.
In just the 80s.
I have a Disney Brer Rabbit book, and I have the original
oh,
Brer
the
Rabbit
story.
book.
Yeah.
Because Brer Rabbit was actually written by slaves.
Yeah.
It was the stories they told to keep,
Yeah, there was.
It's
They
their
like helped
mythology.
keep each other safe in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, because like everyone in the thing is like different characters are like the overseer. and
Exactly.
this
Yeah,
and
they
that.
represent different things
And
with
that's
their
why
animals.
Song of the South is absolutely freaking racist. But I don't believe in covering up the fact that you're racist. I don't believe in that.
No, you didn't.
And I also believe that watching stuff like that, we learn from it.
Yes.
Like I've seen oh my god, Birth of a Nation.
Yes.
The original.
Oh yeah. The
I've
one
seen
from
it.
the 30s.
And because I'm a film,
You're
I'm
a
a film
filmmaker.
buff, and I'm a filmmaker, and I feel like it's important to see where we came from, even how horrible it is.
Oh yeah.
But that's just my little soapbox. Boop, beep, boop. You can't just push it under the rug and pretend
And be
you
like,
didn't do it.
No,
You
but
did
then-
it.
See, and
And
most,
then keep having a ride
That's-
with there's
that's the most interesting thing that the podcast touches on is how Disney very much was like, we'll just have it both ways, where we will not parade around this racist movie, but also here's this wonderful ride that you
Yeah.
can go on, and the ride like lightly makes it less racist, and by that I mean there's not a literal tar baby.
I mean, yeah.
That's it.
The
That's
only
the
thing.
only
That's
thing.
the only difference.
Is it's like a pot of honey or something.
Yeah.
They like change it to be a thing instead of, because I was like, no, I've been on. They were talking about it on the podcast. I was like, I've been on Splash Mountain. There was no tar baby.
No, there's not.
There's not. No.
No.
They changed it.
Because they
But
can't
yeah.
say that.
It's one of those things that just. Ugh.
So enjoy your holiday parties, you guys.
Try not to get murdered.
Don't get murdered at a holiday party. Don't murder at a holiday party. Have Christmas
Yeah.
and Crunch. What? Captain Crunch Christmas Crunch. What?
Yes.
Is that what we're supposed to say? Let me say it. It says Captain Crunch's Christmas Crunch.
Haha.
Captain Crunch's Christmas Crunch. Say that 8 times fast. Just kidding, don't. It's a knife up from me. It's
Yeah.
dry and wet.
Knife up for me.
And I'm gonna say it's a knife down for murdering at holidays.
Oh, a hard knife down, especially because Ronald's he refused to appeal his death sentence. He killed 16 people. Of course, he got the death sentence. By saying, to those who oppose the death penalty, in my particular case, anything short of death would be cruel and unusual punishment. Which is fair, and
Fair.
you know. But doesn't that mean that should have been his punishment?
It does.
Really
It
should
does.
have.
It does. So knife down for him because he's a douche.
Knife down.
Knife down for Songs of the South, but also, can I also
So
say,
funny.
knife down for denying the fact that you have a racist past.
Knife down!
Own up to it, bitches!
Keep the racist song in Lady and the Tramp. Don't do that. It's
Don't
not
do
worth
that.
it.
But
Put
don't,
the crows
but don't
back
like
in Dumbo.
take
Don't
the
do
N-word
that.
out of freaking like
Out of Huckleberry Finn.
Huckleberry Finn. It's
Put it. I think Disney should start putting disclaimers at the beginning of movies where they
Yeah.
have to remove racist things and just like explain it.
I mean, I just feel like if you did it, it's part of your history, and at least atone for it now. You know,
Instead of just being
Instead
like,
of
we
being
never
like,
did
"We never
that.
did that."
What are you
But
talking
you
about?
did,
What are
dude.
you talking about?
You did. And I have a morbid curiosity and sometimes want to watch things like
It's
that
true.
because I want to know where we
need
came
to
from.
know.
And so we can change things.
Anyway.
You can find us at Pod Serial Killer on all social media.
Yes.
You can, what else?
You can email us, podserialkiller@gmail.com with any thoughts, suggestions, opinions, etc.
And we would love to hear from you.
Yeah.
And love to hear your pairings or any
Mhm.
thoughts and stuff like that.
Or if you have any holiday murders that you
Yeah.
particularly enjoy.
Yeah, or no, not. I hope they didn't happen to you.
I'm very sorry if they did.
I'm very
and, like,
sorry if you have
If
a
you would
personal
like
story.
to share your personal story in this particular venue, you're welcome to.
You're
I'm
welcome
just
to.
not sure if it would be helpful.
Probably not going to be helpful.
we
if-
might inappropriately laugh at
we might send you a cereal.
it. We could definitely do that.
We could definitely do
send
that.
you a condolence cereal.
So like, let us know your stories and stuff like that. We would love to interact with you guys more. So just let us know. Tweet at us. Subscribe. Rate. Email.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
Bye guys.